Well, apologies for the late start of the bulletin, but live from our studios here in Kokoblemle, Accra, this is Joy News Prime with me, Samuel Kojo. Our lead stories this are in the midst of intermittent power outages. The ECG admits that part of the challenges in keeping the lights on is due to financial difficulties.
I am requesting a full report on this happening. Please consider this request as priority and respond at your earliest convenience.
But why can't the country turn to diesel if we're not getting enough gas? We'll seek the answers for you. Also, a member of Parliament for North Tongue, Okudzeto Ablakwa, calls for a parliamentary inquiry into the death of an accident victim allegedly abandoned by the Winneba Accident and Trauma Center.
We must take interest. We have to summon the Minister for Health, the Ghana Health Service, the board and management of the Winneba Government Hospital. We cannot accept this.
At 8, Emma Davis will bring you Prime Business.
Players in the downstream petroleum sector call on the Bank of Ghana to improve liquidity flow to address forex challenges.
So it is crucial that more of the dollars, the auctions that BOG is doing is very perfect, it's very good. But what they need to do is to increase the liquidity at that side so that can feed into our pricing and bring the prices down for Ghanaians to be able to buy petroleum product at a cheaper price.
Now, the Electricity Company of Ghana has admitted that the recent power outages being experienced in Ghana are partly due to financial challenges. Speaking at a forum organized by CSOs in the energy sector, the Deputy Managing Director of ECG, Kwadwo Obeng, explained that insufficient gas supply to power the country's thermal plant is causing the intermittent power supply. He called on Ghanaians to pay their electricity bills to cushion ECG and help keep the lights on. More in the following report.
The Electricity Company of Ghana has admitted that the recent power outages are partly due to financial challenges. Speaking at a forum organized by CSOs in the energy sector, the Deputy Managing Director of ECG, Kwadwo Obeng, called on Ghanaians to pay their electricity bills to cushion ECG and help keep the lights on. He added that planned maintenance and insufficient gas supply to power the country's thermal plants are also reasons for the intermittent power outages.
The country as a whole, Africa as a whole, there are financial challenges everywhere. And as you said, if you are made to know, then we can all think through how to manage it. And so I think PRC is here. They brought some mechanisms for addressing some of the financial challenges. But it boils down to you and I paying our bills. It's a chain. We buy the product, we bring it, it is transmitted to us, we sell it. The expectation is that we will collect the money, it goes back through the chain to the IPPs and then the gas suppliers. But I must say that this system is not 100% efficient. And so we do have situations where it is difficult to take the money and pay it back to the providers. But we are improving. Also cost. It may cost them so. As I said, sitting in ECG, I know the challenge I face with getting money from my customers. Now, the IPPs may also have, because we are also a customer to the IPPs. So the IPPs in their statement may also cite challenges from their customer, which is ECG. So it's a chain that goes through and we all pinpoint financial challenges, as I said.
GridCo outlined the thermal fuel inadequacy, low water level of the Bui Dam and the unavailability of power plants due to faults and maintenance as reasons for the current power supply challenges.
There's enough capacity, generating capacity to serve the demand, but the challenge has been the fuel. And so because of the limited fuel, we have had to manage demand at various times. We have had challenges with mostly the thermal fuels. The hydros has been our result, and so we've had to do heavily on the hydros. However, on the Bui side, Bui has a much limited storage. And so it fills up quickly and it can also get finished quickly.
The former Director of Public Relations and External Affairs at PURC, Nanaya Jantwa, believes ECG owes the public a load shedding timetable to help plan ahead.
I believe that that is a bit unfortunate because especially with the current one we are going to face because of the gas shortage and the maintenance at WAPCO, they should be able to give us a timetable because they know the load that is going to go off.
ECG and GridCo maintain a load shedding timetable can only be authorized by board members of the companies. These admissions come on the back of a joint announcement by the two companies of 3 weeks of intermittent power outages due to gas supply challenges from Nigeria.
Well, let's get on Zoom now and speak to the manager corporate communications for the Ghana Grid Company, Jifa Bampo. Jifa, I'm grateful to you for joining us. Now, let us understand this 3 weeks maintenance that will be undertaking in Nigeria that is going to result in some shortfall in gas supply from there. How will that affect your operations? Jifa, kindly unmute so we can hear what you're telling us. Well, so I'm trying to find out from you that for these 3 weeks that we understand the maintenance works will be undertaken in Nigeria, which of course is impacting how much gas we get from there. How exactly will that affect or impact your operations?
So we are losing some 55 million standard cubic feet of gas from Nigeria, but we are not sure if that is the case every day. So there's been some coming through. But the reality is that it is the gas folks who can give you more detail about how much is coming in on a daily and what the supply looks like. But what I can say is that overall, once you're not having that additional inflow, it does impact generation. That's because that gas is needed to fire up some of the power plants as well. So there will be some impact if we don't get more gas coming in. That said, there are alternatives. So we do need to have some additional liquid fuels come in, the diesels, the HFOs, and the like. So I understand some plans are being made to bring in some more. We know that a couple of weeks we had some LCO that came in. So I think all of this is all in an effort to mitigate the impact. But as system operator, what GridCo does is it works with the value chain and the other utility partners, particularly VRA and ECG. They decide which plants will run based on the fuels available. And so we will work with them to ensure that the fuels available are efficiently used so that we can get the optimum amount of megawatts needed to mitigate whatever deficit there might be. That said, I must emphasize that it does not mean that the outages may be every day. There might be some days where there would be no interruption in power supply at all. I know that at the weekends, a lot of the time, there's next to no interruption in supply. So usually the challenge comes during the week where there's a lot of demand, not just from domestic users, but also from commercial industry users as well. We'll make the most effort to ensure that we reduce as much as possible the impact of any load management.
So clarify this for us. These 3 weeks that the company will be using in doing the maintenance, does it translate, into the fact that we'll also be experiencing some outages for 3 weeks?
Yes and no. So that's why I indicated earlier that it depends on what comes through the pipeline. So what we've been told, and I must say this communication didn't come to GridCo directly. The relationship is held by those working in the gas space.
Okay.
So they would have had that information clearly. For us as system operator, what we see is we see a shortfall in the fuel that is coming in this instance, gas. And because a statement was issued, we decided to be proactive and indicate to the public that, look, because of these works, there might be some instability, there might be some disruption. So our statement, our joint statement yesterday is for two reasons. One, we're obliged by the regulator to inform the public, the Ghanaian public, that there might be some disruption, especially if it's going to run over a long period. And these works are running for 3 weeks. So it's true, it may not be that there might be challenges in supply throughout. It could be on and off, but at least we must inform the public. The second reason, particularly for ECG, is because we supply them power that is generated. And so if we know that definitely there's a shortfall in fuel, it means what will be generated will also be limited. And so their expected demand would also drop. So we have an obligation to them as well as a partner utility to inform them that we may not be able to reach to meet their demand, and thus it may impact their clients. It's for that reason that together we decided to issue this joint communication. That's why there's an effort and a meeting of minds to, as much as possible, mitigate the impact. I'll give you an example. There's some plants that, produce a certain amount of megawatts on a certain amount of gas. Others may produce something slightly less. So it's up to both ECG and VRA to make those decisions that ensures optimum use of the available fuels. There are other plants as well that may suddenly go down, and those are unplanned faults. Those are emergency situations. So you may even have the fuel, but because this plant has a mechanical or there's a fault somewhere, you can't run it. And so because of that, you end up with a deficit that maybe you didn't plan for. So there are extenuating circumstances that may emerge over the period. And so we just want to inform the public. And of course, we continue to work with the value chain so that we can, reduce the impact.
I'm grateful to you, Jeffa Bampo, for joining us here. Now, away from that, Member of Parliament for North Tongue Okudzeto-Ablakwa calls for a parliamentary inquiry into the death of an accident victim allegedly abandoned by the Winneba Accident and Trauma Center at Gomwa, Ojobi. Recent media reports suggest that the deceased, a female in her old age, was rushed to the Winneba Trauma Hospital for treatment after she was involved in a road accident. She was later allegedly abandoned in a bush by hospital authorities after search for her relatives proved futile, leading to her death. Speaking on the floor of Parliament today, MP for North Tongue Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa said Parliament must take an interest and probe the matter.
There is a matter that I was hit with this morning on national television, and I'm sure the Honorable Majority Leader will be concerned because it's a matter that happened in his constituency. The Winneba Government Hospital, it has been reported that doctors and nurses there just threw out a patient who had an accident. They couldn't locate the patient's relations. The patient says she comes from somewhere, Oboji or something of that nature, a UTV report. And then they just put her in the ambulance, went to dump her in the bush. After 3 days, Mr. Speaker, the patient died. This is a woman who lost her legs in an accident, a 44-year-old woman, traumatized. I mean, this is the height of inhumanity. And Mr. Speaker, this House must take interest. We have to summon the Minister for Health, the Ghana Health Service, the board and management of the Winneba Government Hospital. We cannot accept this. So, Mr. Speaker, this happened in the majority leader's constituency. He has to join us so we constitute an urgent probe into this matter. This negligence, this abuse of the 1992 Constitution, and the gross violation of the Hippocratic oath of our doctors cannot be accepted. There is national outrage, and as a House, we have to be concerned, and we must take immediate action. It can happen to any of us. We can have an accident anywhere. It can happen to any of our relatives. And, Mr. Speaker, we cannot accept this gross negligence. So this House, Mr. Speaker, must take an interest in this matter urgently so that we can be responsive to the plight of the people we represent in this House.
The majority leader and MP for Efutu, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, says he has already written to the hospital demanding full report on the incident. He, however, believes Parliament must allow the Ghana Health Service to conclude its investigation into the matter.
It came up in the media yesterday, and I shall refer to a letter by me with reference ML/042, dated 13 June, addressed to the Medical Director, Trauma and Specialist Hospital, Winneba Central Region. Dear Sir, request for full report on patient incident. I write to formally request a report on an incident involving a patient who was admitted at your facility. According to a report from United Television, this patient was under the care of your hospital, but was discharged under distressing circumstances. It has been alleged that the patient was left in the bush in Ojobi and tragically passed away after being exposed to heavy rains. This is disturbing and raises questions about the standards of care and protocols followed by your institution. To better understand the circumstances surrounding this incident, I am requesting a full report on this happening. Please consider this request as priority and respond at your earliest convenience. I count on your cooperation. Yours faithfully, signed by my very good self. Mr. Speaker, further to this, I've become aware of a press release by the Ghana Health Service. So, respectfully, I submit that in view of the fact that the institution concerned is taking steps, we may temporarily not have jurisdiction. Our jurisdiction has to do with oversight. If we try to get into such matters, it may appear as though Parliament is trying to ask the jurisdiction of an appropriate institution with a mandate to do this. So, Mr. Speaker, I hold a view that Parliament must be seen to be doing its oversight. The institution concerned has a primary mandate. They have indicated that they've instituted an investigation. I hold the humble view that we allow them to do their work, get their report published, the necessary sanctions meted out, and if Parliament would want to do further, we can do that. So, Mr. Speaker, that is my view on that matter.
Now, ruling on the matter, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagme expressed worry of the reoccurrence of such incidents in the country as he urges the Ghana Health Service to expedite action on their investigation.
It's so heart-wrenching. In fact, when I read and then also viewed on TV what happened, I got so sad that as a country, we have gone that low. It should not happen. But these are allegations. And so what we have to do first is to await the investigation by the appropriate authorities. And then, if we feel that justice has not been done, we will exercise our oversight responsibility and take it on. So the majority leader is right in saying that let's wait until we get a report from the appropriate ministry, and then we can take the necessary action. That is the way to go.
An ongoing construction work at Winneba Junction in the central region has obstructed the flow of rainwater, resulting in the flooding of some houses while trapping residents in their homes. Now, the situation has also prevented scores of others from accessing their homes and submerged other houses. NADMO officials had inspected and advised the contractors to put in place mechanism to prevent future flooding, but no such measures have been taken. Friday's flooding, according to an eyewitness, was caused by contractors who have blocked the waterway to make way for the construction of a bridge. According to the eyewitness, the company has ignored numerous complaints about how the blockage of the waterway had increased the risk level of disaster in the area with cascading effect. Now, joining me via phone now is the Futu Municipal NADMO Director Isaac Ephraim Okine. Grateful to you for joining. Now, how bad is the situation there?
Okay, good evening to all cherished listeners. Right now we are at the scene currently, and then the issue here is very bad. Houses have been submerged, but unfortunately, because of the rains, we are still in the rains. Our men are also on the ground there. They are still assessing. So right now, I cannot give you vividly the number of houses that have been submerged. But from where I'm standing, about 3 houses have been submerged, including the Dawa restaurant. Yeah, including the restaurant. And when you are coming inside the restaurant, so it's very difficult. It's very difficult.
So what it means is that as we speak, the rain is still falling.
Yeah, the rain is still falling. It's still falling.
Now, it should be clear to you that the risk level for those living close to the construction site continues to increase. Why is your outfit not able to press the contractor to comply and do what is right?
Yeah, this evening, as we are on site right now, we've called him severally. He said they are coming, but as of now, they are not here. We've been calling him, but as of now, they are not here. Yeah, we were here on Tuesday. We spoke with him. He said they will create an opening, which they didn't do. On Wednesday, we made a report to the assembly, and we came here with the municipal engineer to assess the issue before the rain set in. And he said he's going to follow up on that aspect. So we were with him. We've been around. We were here Tuesday, Wednesday, and today too we are here. So today, when the rain started, it was there that we put pressure on him, and he made an opening. But unfortunately, the waters coming are too huge for the drain to carry. So we need more openings. So we've been calling him to come around it and open the drains a little bit more, so that huge amounts of water can gush out. But then as of now, he hasn't arrived. He said he's coming, but then he hasn't arrived yet.
And it's past 7, he's not there. Now, people say it's due to his negligence. Will you be pressing any charges, for example, against him for what he's caused in the area?
Yeah, of course. If he's acting the way he's acting, then we can put actions against him, because houses are suffering. People are living around, and their houses are being inundated with flooding water. So yes, if he's continuing with the way he's, because we've been calling him, we've been speaking with him since Tuesday. So if he's behaving like this, yes, legal actions can also be taken against him.
Grateful to you, sir, for joining. Now, from that, Gav, this is still the Joy News Prime. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more. Please do stay. Now, welcome back from the break. Government is demanding that members of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CTAG, should immediately call off their indefinite strike, describing it as an act of bad faith and a betrayal of ongoing negotiations. CTAG initiated a strike on Friday, citing the government's non-compliance with the National Labour Commission's orders and the non-payment of salary compensations awarded by the NLC. The government urges CTAG to end the strike to allow negotiations to proceed effectively. There's more in this report.
Leadership of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CTAG, on Thursday, June 13, declared an indefinite strike, asking all their members to lay down their tools. According to the leadership, the decision is due to government's non-compliance with the National Labour Commission's orders to first pay CTAG members a month's salary as compensation for extra duties performed in 2022 and government's delay in conducting a staff audit. Prince Obinhima is the president of CTAG.
The orders were that they ought to have finished the staff audit by 31st July. And when you finish with the staff audit, implement the outcome of the staff audit retrospectively. It means take it back to 1st January 2023 and then implement it. That has not been done. Again, the order was that the tutors had worked within the year 2022 without any form of break, which was a gross violation of their human rights as we speak now. Not even one has been implemented.
He says these unresolved issues have led to the indefinite strike to force the hand of government.
We don't have to encourage that. So we have put all these things together and we are saying that we are simply activating Section 159 of the Labour Act, which talks about legal strike, and we have followed due process, having exhausted all the things we ought to have done up until such a time that the government implement to the letter everything in the Arbitral Act and it translates into payment of money into the accounts of our members.
Government has been fighting back. CEO of the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, Ben Arthur, says the allegations by CTAG are unfounded.
The question here is, why would you want to cite government for not respecting an agreement when you yourself are not ready to respect the same agreement? And we say that that is a show of bad faith. If indeed CTAG really wants to resolve this matter for the betterment of their members, then there is a need to appear at the table because we have finished with the negotiation. It's an implementation challenge. They also said that with respect to migrating them onto the university payroll, government had defaulted. That is not the fact. It is not true. On the 6th of June, the ministry invited them for a meeting. They failed to show up. Yesterday, the sector minister invited them for a meeting. They failed to show up. And today, we're supposed to have a meeting. You could see all the government side came here at 10, only to be served a notice after that period that they are not showing up.
Government is now asking CTAG to reconsider its decision and return to the negotiation table.
We do something for our colleagues who are teaching in the colleges of education, and government means well. So we are calling on them to go back to the classroom, to go and teach. This strike is out of bad faith.
Now, Love FM High School debate moves into round of 16 in a showcase of prowess in wit and oratory. Now, 16 schools in the Ashanti region are set to slug it out in the 1/8 stage of the Love FM Pepsodent High School debate. Here's a wrap of the prelims by Nana Boache Yadong.
The preliminary stage of the Love FM High School debate witnessed an exciting showcase of confidence and wits by young high school debaters.
Even using of digital technologies detriment students' learning capacities by impairing their focused attention. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine you studying online and then immediately a notification pops up with a Chinese woman like this. Hey babe, Adisianashi, the chair of the house, Pononkua.
A study by K.L. Mangala World School proves that out of the 8 types of factors that affect the learning process, one of them is teaching and learning methods.
Schools deemed underdogs are poised to make impressive showing in the debate. Here is lead judge Dr. Peter Atta on expectations of the debaters.
They abide by the rules of engagement?
Sure. You see, Dave, the judges come from very strong academic backgrounds. You know that, all of them. In addition, most of us have taught for 30 years, over 30 years and all that. And we've accrued a lot of experience. And at this stage, what we feel is that I think we have to impact on the young ones.
Away from that, the Ghana Education Service has observed with great satisfaction the rejuvenated sectoral support for education in deprived areas benefiting from the Communities of Excellence Program, SEP. Solomon Akurugu-Azubela, the District Education Director of the Afram Plains North, noted a positive change in the attitude of parents and community members towards education is attributable to the Jacob Foundation funded project implemented with UNICEF support. MFA Atiamwa Eli has more in the following report.
Under the Communities of Excellence program, the capacities of teachers, parents, chiefs, community members, market women, and every stakeholder in education at the selected districts are built to empower and equip them to promote teaching and learning in their respective communities. A project inspection tour by program implementers and selected journalists revealed that after 2 years of the Communities of Excellence program, several communities in the Afram Plains district have started demonstrating a sense of ownership and electing themselves to drive changes that have eluded Ghana's educational system. For example, with the increasing number of school enrollments, existing school infrastructure faces more pressure, and there is a growing demand for more teachers in these areas. This development has compelled otherwise indifferent parents and stakeholders to take action and safeguard the futures of their children, particularly in an era where many government promises remain unfulfilled.
Beyond
enrolling their children in school, parents have availed themselves for training and awareness sessions facilitated by the Ghana Education Service with UNICEF support funded by the Jacobs Foundation.
Teachers
Visit to New Chiasi and surrounding hamlets along the Volta River in Kwewu Afram Plains, for instance, highlights the lack of health officers and teachers in these communities. The lack is motivating parents to prioritize their children's education with the hope of producing their own health officers and teachers, reducing their dependence on limited government interventions.
School, idea, power, and I did be announced here, Hannah, the teacher for Bagis, the free Chiriba, the nurses, Bagis, the free Chiriba, let us a community, Yentimum Wayam Bantino, Ama, and you may be a day, and Cosi, and it is the nurse from sea. You better see about one Colana boys school. Now say a flam and Kaflam place here, Koran. You hear teacher for Krank and for flam place for you teacher for.
At Adeba, to celebrate educational achievements and appreciate their benefactors, the School Management Committee and Parent Teachers Association of New Chiasi DA Primary and JHS handed over 50 dual desks to school authorities to accommodate the increasing student numbers.
Election headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. The Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, the AICPA, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, also the German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental, Wellness and Beauty, also the Chop Box Technologies, a convenience service, and Youth Bridge Foundation. Election headquarters for an informed electorate. Now, let's talk about the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, because former President John Dramani Mahama has assured members of the party they will work to protect their vote in the 2024 general elections in order to save the country from what he describes as the abyss of the Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration. He has urged Ghanaians to support the cause of the NDC to ensure total victory in the December general elections. John Dramani Mahama made the statement in Adwa when the former Chief Executive Officer of the Food and Drugs Authority, Alhaji Hudu Mokhtar, donated 25 motorbikes and a pickup truck to support the NDC's campaign Joy News' Upper West regional correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
The flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, John Dramani Mahama, commended the former Chief Executive Officer of the Food and Drugs Authority, Alhaji Hudu Mokhtari, for the donation of the 25 motorbikes and the double-deck pickup, which he said will tremendously aid the party's campaign to wrestle power away from the governing New Patriotic Party, NPP. John Mahama assured members of the NDC that they will do everything possible to ensure that their votes are protected in order to extricate the country from the abyss that the Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration have subjected the people to.
We do not have a war chest. We do not have huge resources. We do not have big donors. It is small donations like this that have kept us going and preparing for 2024. People are donating motorcycles, people are donating pickup trucks, people are donating money, bicycles and all that. I want to thank all those small donors for getting us up to this point. We wish to assure you that we will use these resources judiciously, and aside from that, we will make sure that on the 7th of December 2024, when you cast your vote for the NDC, we'll make sure that your vote will be protected in order that NDC can achieve that victory to extricate this country from the abyss into which the Bawumia Akufo-Addo government has plunged it.
The plan of the NDC in the Upper West region is to win all the 11 parliamentary seats in the region, which has been codenamed Agenda 1111. The former Chief Executive Officer of the Food and Drugs Authority, Alhaji Hudu Mokhtari, noted that with such ambition, the party needs to be retooled to help in achieving that dream. In addition, he also donated 30,000 Ghana cedis to take care of the fuel cost of the motorbikes and the pickup.
To the region to support the efforts of the region in helping us win all the 11 seats in the Upper West region. We know that the party needs some retooling and resourcing. So this is the first step we are taking to help with that process.
National Chairman of the NDC, Asedu Nketie, urged the eventual beneficiaries to take very good care of the pickup and the motorbikes and use them for the purpose for which they were donated.
And through this media, I also want to urge the eventual users that this equipment is not an end in itself. They shouldn't consider it to be a gift which they need to protect so that after the election they can use it.
Opposition Chairman of the NDC, Abdul Nasser Sani Bonas, stated that with the donation of the motorbikes and the pickup, the party is.
All right, so let's do showbiz now. And you know what? Let me hand you over straight to the queen of the business. Hi, Becky. How you doing?
Hello to you, Brace.
Oh.
I'm okay. How you doing?
I'm well. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
You look
why did you have to do this?
Yeah, because I'm appearing before a queen. You know, when you appear before queens.
You've always stayed true to yourself, and I really appreciate that. And which brings me back to the story that we're about to bring you. True to Yourself, or True to Self, is a new album coming from Kim Promise, the Terminator hitmaker. There was an album listening ahead of the release, which was just today, well, last night, in the middle of the night. And this is what I came up with.
Basically, what it says, like, really being true to myself on this album.
This is not just an album. This is a true reflection of multiple award-winning musician Kim Promise. True to Self is the latest body of work by the Terminator hitmaker, who clearly is an album lover.
You mentioned on stage that you are an album person. What does that mean?
I like a body of work.
Okay.
I mean, I love singles, but albums gives you the chance to flex a bit, you know? Not just make songs for the radio, but songs where you can play at home, when you're washing, when you're driving, when you're chilling, when you're in the club. So I love that, when I have the liberty to do it.
At an exclusive listening ahead of the release of the album, industry players couldn't help but share their thoughts on this new project.
So I really feel happy because even the fact that I'm on the album alone is big, and to think of the song Flying too is also really big. So I appreciate the fact that he put me on. I appreciate everybody listening to my sounds and listening to Kim Promise, because he's amazing. He's an amazing act.
Afrobeat album, hands down. Afrobeat album. It has a vibe, it has a character, it has a texture, it has a feel, it has the, everything about it. And basically that's what it is. And if you look at the vibe of the music, it's not meant just for the local market.
The executive producer for the True to Self album, Killbeat. Killbeat has done a lot for this industry. I think that he hasn't been celebrated enough because I know him that well from R2Bs, name them. And now being the executive producer for this particular body of work, Killbeat, tell me, how do you feel? I can see that you're in a celebratory mood, but how do you feel finally that you have a third album that you produced for Kim Promise out?
I feel so happy. I'm so happy that the album is out because it takes a lot of work to bring out a nice album like this. So it's been we've been up and down, from Nigeria to here, from Togo, everywhere. So at the end of the day, I'm happy.
I had the privilege to be in the studio with him whilst he made some of the songs. So I know how it was. You only think that Promise is good until you are in the studio with him. You realize it's very exceptional.
True to Self album by Kim Promise is out, and we have industry people passing through just to feel this particular body of work. And obviously one of the people that I revere in this industry, Angel, who will never give me an interview, from Sarkodie, obviously Sarkodie's manager. Angel, tell me, you've listened to the song, Sarkodie has been featured on one of the songs, but the entire album, what do you make of it?
To me, generally, it's just a fantastic body of work, and I'm excited because we're actually a part, the genesis of Kim Promise's journey. So it's really good to see an artist that we literally introduced to his current label grow so well and so fine. And he's such an amazing ambassador for Ghanaian music, and he's doing amazing. The body of work, crazy, production-wise, mixing. We were just literally speaking about the level of, the quality of mixing and mastering off the album is amazing. It's crazy. I don't need to say nothing more. Everybody knows Kim Promise has grown amazingly, and anybody who has listened to his music, who has followed his journey, can actually tell growth upon growth upon growth, and I don't think it's going to get any worse. It's only going to get better. So True to Self is out. Go run it up on all digital streaming platforms. Let's make the boy great. Let's make our music great. Let's prioritize our own stuff, and then that's the way to go. Big up.
One thing that stood out for me was the album cover. So I asked,
what do you see in the mirror? When I look at the artwork of the album cover, you're standing there and you have another photo of you in the mirror holding a flower.
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
I'm thinking, what do you see when you look into the mirror?
I see the old me and I see the new me.
Okay, which one is the new you?
The grown me.
Okay.
The grown man that I have become.
Okay.
And I see myself, the younger me, and I'm telling myself I'm proud. I won't have it any other way. I'm glad you had to do what you did, go through what you went through, because all of that have made you who you are today.
So, from the song Believe to Continental and all the way to Favorite Story, you can pick your favorite song of the 12-track album True to Self, which is officially out on all digital platforms. For Joy News, my name is Becky.
Well, I'm still Becky. So we're celebrating Father's Day. I know that. I'm the only person trying to celebrate y'all fathers, so you have to give me my credit. I know this weekend is Father's Day, and ahead of that celebration, I'm dedicating this song by Joe Metal. It's fresh. It's like It just came out. Like, it came out like 2 minutes ago. So we're dedicating. Why are you staring at me like that? And you're not saying anything because I didn't say that Happy Father's Day.
Oh, no, not so.
This is to you and every other fathers, any other fathers out there. So please enjoy the song. It's actually something that will take you into the spirit realms, and I am praying